All right, House of Payne fans, we're talking season 13, episode 5, entitled Love Yourz. Um, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. This was a decent episode. It's just one of those, okay, I'm just not really surprised by the outcome because it's so formulaic, given the fact that, oh, Malik is overdoing it, trying to get everyone in his family to change in order to leave a good impression on his boss. And then at the end of the day, it's like, wow, if I had only been myself, like everyone in my family told me to be, things would have gone a lot smoother. And then the B plot, I was actually more interested in the B plot than the A plot, which was Calvin Jr. Having a hard time with his dad because he wasn't getting, his math right. And I'll just go over the A plot real quick. I try to make these videos last at least 8 minutes long because the YouTube algorithm prefers longer videos. But to be honest, I doubt this will even be 5 minutes. But hey, in any case, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell because numbers are low in terms of the amount of people who are subscribed to the channel that actually watch the content. This month so far, only about 31% of my subscribers have watched the content. The other views, 60% plus, are from non-subscribed people. So please hit the notification bell and select all. That way you know when I post on the channel. Okay. So Malik got a flat tire and his boss, the councilman, brings him back home. Lisa, Jasmine, CJ, and Janine are in attendance. And in order to thank his boss, he, caught up in the moment, he invites his boss over to dinner the next night. And he's freaking out. So he's trying to get everybody like dress a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way, cook this, replacing the furniture. And in the midst of trying to drill his entire family on what to do like a dictator, that'll come up later in the episode, turns out Lisa invited her mom without telling Malik. So with Dina being, well, Dina, that's really going to throw a lot of things out of whack. And while Malik is stressing to have things done a certain way and to look a certain way, everybody's like, bro, just chill, be yourself. That's the best way to, impress your boss. So whenever the boss comes over, he'll see that Malik and the Paynes are just a regular everyday family. But Malik, he's going to do it his way because he gets it from, well, his dad and by extension his Uncle Curtis. I think the funniest bit of this entire storyline was Janine freaking out every time Malik called the decor of the house outdated and he replaced the furniture. Well, he rented out some new furniture and Janine almost flipped on him. But either way, the dinner, it goes well up until a point where the councilman is like, hey, everything looks good, but do you happen to have any, like, I don't know, some pork chops or something, fried chicken? Because turns out he was told to say he was a vegan during his campaign in order to come across as, I guess more likable to the voters or something. And that's what Malik based the entire dinner off of. And he even applauds Malik when he finally, pulls the cat out of the bag and tells him that everything was a farce, aside from Miss Dina, because Miss Dina's acting like herself. But in terms like, the way people were dressing and the house decor and the food and whatnot, this was all just a show. And even though the councilman appreciates him and compliments his integrity and honesty, it's kind of strange, though, that, well, then again, maybe they should have discussed the menu because earlier in the episode, the councilman was, drilling, the notion into Malik's head about honesty and integrity are the best things to stand on for any sort of political platform you find yourself in. So I'm just wondering, it's like, well, was the councilman not being honest because he literally promotes himself as a vegan when he's not? So it's kind of a weird thing to tell Malik, even though it's like you're not practicing what you preach. But then again, it's kind of ironic that this particular episode aired the night of the debate. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, I just feel like anybody in the political realm, they bend the truth at some way, shape, or form. Either they bend the truth in order to appeal to the voters, or like certain stances they have, they might end up changing it in order to sway the voters in their direction. I think one of the most prominent real world examples that's brought up a lot is if I hope I don't misquote this, 'cause I think I'm correct based off how many times I hear this in other commentary. But when you look at originally how Barack Obama wasn't for same-sex marriage, but then I think around the second term when he was trying to get reelected, he was in support of it. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, I see what he did there. It's like, okay, you realize that in order to get this specific group of voters so you can increase your chances of winning, you change your platform. Whether or not it's genuine or a method in order to get more people to side with you, that's up for debate. Boom. Yeah, but in any case, the dinner ends up with Dina giving the councilman a ride home, and on top of that, taking him out to get some real food. So they hit it off pretty well. So wouldn't it be something, ironically enough, if Malik's boss winds up potentially becoming somewhat of a father-in-law to him if Dina and him get together, and then Lisa and Malik get married at some point? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the A plot. The B plot is Calvin Jr. He's doing pretty poorly in math. Apparently he's failed a couple of math quizzes, and he's suspended. He's on suspension. I don't really know how that works. Apparently, like, he cuts up in classes and paying attention, jokes around. And Calvin, you know, he's doing what a parent typically does, which isn't always a good thing, because I love how I think it's Peanut and Lisa, not Lisa, Peanut, Laura, and then Ella and Curtis pretty much tell him, like, in terms of being a good parent in a situation like this is not about dictating rules. It's about, you know, making sure your intentions are good, but at the same time, showing that you're a good father, not like a dictator. Again, going back to Malik trying to drill into his family exactly how they should think, act, and talk during the dinner. But yeah, I mean, he had this whole list of rules, which to some extent I understand the rules, you know, like no phone or video games until you finish your homework, and on top of that, do your homework in the living room so you can have an adult helping you. I don't think those rules are bad. They actually make a lot of sense. But in the case of the math, it's like, I get it. How many people have parents where it's like they get mad at you, like, well, you need to pay attention and yada, yada, yada. But more often than not, they bark out at you for not doing well in school. But then again, it's in a subject that they don't know how to do the damn self. So it's just a frustration. So, but on top of that, I love how everybody around Calvin was being more understanding to Calvin Jr. than him, which kind of sucks, but he did come around at the very end. It's just that sad that even though Calvin Jr. felt confident after the Peanut tutoring, he took the quiz. And I like how Calvin's like, hey, and then Peanut even said, like, hey, you know, when it comes to math, just take your time. Maybe you want to run those you know, questions back and, you know, practice. And that is very true. I mean, it's a common kind of a joke, but it's very, 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 very true, where you do you learn a certain method of math in class. You do like some practice problems, and sometimes even the homework, you know, is the same except for, like, you know, a couple of different factors. But when it's time to take a quiz or a test, it's like, this ain't nothing. Like, whoa, where did this step come from? So yeah, when it comes to math, even though you can feel confident, you can literally have your ego shattered in no time, because as soon as you take that quiz, like, what the is this? So he did bomb it, and then Calvin just went in on him, which was messed up. I'm like, bro, just no. But yeah, he comes around at the end, and they, you know, they do their thing. It was a pretty good episode. So yeah, like I said, 7 out of 10. It was good. It was passable. I wouldn't call it filler. I think it's a standard House of Payne episode, and you can't really argue with that. Okay, never mind. I did go over 8 minutes, so I guess I did make the algorithm happy with that. But as always, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.